Quite a very comprehensive report looking at the state of climate change in South Africa. As you know, that recently we saw quite a very significant moment where the Republic's President Cyril Ramaphosa signed the climate change bill into an act, really bringing the alignment in terms of the policies. But joining us now is the DG for Fisheries, Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, Ms. Chabalala. So once again, ma'am, thank you so much indeed for your time. So like you just said, it's quite a very big moment for the sector. We're seeing the concerted efforts in making sure that we deal with this phenomenon.
No, thank you very much for this opportunity. And for us as the department, we see this launch of this report as a way of taking stock as a country. How far are we in ensuring that we move to a low carbon and resilient, climate resilient society? And this report is very key in as far as informing the work that needs to be done, but also taking stock of what we have done as government, as various stakeholders, business, civil society, labor, in dealing with the issue of climate change.
And DG, obviously, I mean, we've seen quite a number of activities. I mean, recently we saw the symposium where the issues around the funding of adaptation, mitigation, those were catchphrases really in terms of galvanizing the sector. Are you winning in terms of making sure that you get a buy-in from all the stakeholders?
Well, I must say that there has been a concerted effort, and the various stakeholders are really rallying around in ensuring that we deal with the issues of climate change. So issues of finance are critical issues. You would have seen that even within government, the local government sphere, we do need to get funding for all their initiatives that they are going to be implementing in as far as responding to climate change. Not only that, but also adaptation. The adaptation plans moving forward, they really need to be funded. But what is key for us is that we really need to look into the type of funding that's coming through. Grant, concessionary financing, fit-for-purpose financing is very key. And we are very happy to say that public sector and private sector are coming on board in as far as the financing is concerned. Yeah.
And obviously the heart of this, ma'am, will have to be South Africa's game changer project, the just energy transition, and what is always critical. You always emphasize that no one will be left behind. I mean, one looks at those communities in Mpumalanga and other areas where there's like this, where they're sitting on tenterhooks about what lies ahead.
Indeed, indeed. This has been highlighted even by the President to say that with this transition, no one should be left behind. And for us, we need to begin to have a clear advocacy. Climate change must not just be a complex term that is out there. We need to internalize it, all of us as society, but also there is a need to bring society along. When we say we are in this transition, which is just, what does it mean to an ordinary citizen out there on the day-to-day basis? Conserving water, the way in which crops you need to be planting for your subsistence farming, and so on and so forth. So we really need a lot of advocacy, but also to simplify it such that everyone understands what is this climate change, how is it going to impact me, and how is it beginning to impact us on a day-to-day basis, so that then whatever you are doing, you understand on how best you need to be mitigating, and also what then you need to put in place in order to adapt for this moving forward. Yeah.
And just before I let you go, ma'am, obviously it's a road to Baku where once again the global family will be meeting once again to look at ways to deal with climate change. And we know what is always critical is around Africa's common voice in terms of dealing with this issue, because Africa is disproportionately affected.
Definitely, definitely. And I think what then is even more encouraging is that as an African bloc, we do engage, we do look into this matter, and it has been made very clear that these issues of climate change are affecting and impacting us as Africa, but we also need to make it very clear in terms of then the rest of the world, in terms of what then they need to be doing in terms of rallying around some of these programs, but also not exacerbating some of those issues that would have caused Africa to be confronted with these situations that we have, like your climate change, and how do we then move as an African bloc towards the net zero, which is a target by 2050.
DG, thank you so much indeed for your time. Of course, that's Ms. Shabalala really just giving us a snapshot on the significance of this report, but also, as you know, that the climate change talks will be held later on this year. So there's quite a lot to be taken into account. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.